Yeah, let's get some tasty Graham wine. So hey guys, hey, it's John, Edible, Portland, here with Graham from Buona Notte. This is one I've been really wanting to do for a while, and I'll tell you why. You may hear me say that for some few different things, restaurant chefs, farmers, but Graham and I have known each other for quite a few years. From way back when in my former days as a wine bar guy, and I got to meet Graham. I don't know, did you email and then bring wine over? Did we meet at
I think the first time I met you.
The first Wild Bunch? Did
Either
we know
that or
right
just
before?
at the wine bar.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have been out on the coast, I don't know, going surfing, going foraging, going crabbing, just decided
Crabbing,
hanging out,
Yeah.
getting salty. But it's been great, and for me it's been really awesome to see how the wines have grown and how the label has grown for you for, I don't know, at least since 2019, 20 or so, something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
And just seeing all the things that you've done, and where I see you on the road, and the people who've taken interest in what's going on, leading all the way up to here we are at the Appartamento.
Cheers, welcome in.
Yeah. You got your spot. 109 Southeast Salmon Street down here in the Southeast Industrial area. It's a busy neighborhood. For the locals will know, you're going to hear a train at any given time. It's a great building. It houses some really, really great stuff. This is actually where we keep our magazines. You've got a couple of other wineries doing tasting rooms in here.
We have Statera down the hallway here. We have Otro Lado just open right there. And so there's the three of us up here on the second floor, all doing completely different things. Tasting rooms and hanging out and getting along. And I try to make this a really special spot, a special destination in Portland.
And it is that. And we'll get into it a little bit. The Italian influence, and then what you do with the food, and you guys maybe can see the setup, but the slicers here, and the wonderful mandarins, and just, the cheeses that you bring in, and what you do with it, and then working with the local stuff that you bring in, that the plates that you create are just magic, man. And everybody I talk to, it's very special what you're doing, what's going on. We were talking Italian influence, we're talking grapes, Oregon, Washington, and you wanted to kind of get way back.
So, we make wine in the gorge from both sides, Oregon and Washington. It's really quite 50-50 these days. The winery is in Cascade Locks, which is technically in a rainforest. It's 65 inches of rain a year.
Wow.
But for every mile you drive east of there, you lose an inch of annual rainfall on average. So by the time you're in Hood River, it's 45 inches of rain a year. And then by the time you're in the Dalles, it's 15 inches of rain a year. So you've gone from rainforest to high desert. You have Mount Hood 25 miles to the south. Mount Adams 25 miles to the north, both 11,000-ish foot volcanoes and the Columbia River running down the middle of it. So it's a really compelling place to be making wine right now. You can find all these little microclimates to grow just about any varietal that you want. Maybe it's not a perfect analog, maybe it's something close, but sometimes that's more interesting anyways.
Sure.
And so, within that context, I started making Sangiovese in 2016. I just wanted to find my own way in the Pacific Northwest wine world. I didn't necessarily want to make more Pinot and Chardonnay in the Willamette Valley. Mm-hmm. Nothing against that. It's just done by incredible winemakers with a lot of backing, and it's not really my thing. I didn't connect to that as well. I spent a lot of my childhood in Italy at my mom's cooking schools, just outside of Florence, and traveled all around to the Amalfi Coast, Sicily, northern Italy, and so that was just kind of like what was more inspiring to me. So being able to make Sangiovese in the Dalles, which is like my joke / kind of true, is if you squint hard enough, it kind of looks like Tuscany. Was the start to it all, but now we get to make Gruners and things like that from Underwood, which is more high Alpine style, more an analog for northern Italy, and everything in between. So we can find these little spots to really lean into Italian-style wines and kind of find our inspiration through these different vineyards and different farmers who we work really closely with to then dig into how these wines, these certain varietals are made in Italy, and do our best to honor that, but also honor the terroir of the gorge as
Right
well.
here. Yeah.
And, learn how to make wine here in the U.S. So some modern techniques mixed with old Italian style techniques there too, and that's the joy and beauty of it all.
Yeah, it's so cool because you have done some different things, with skin inclusion and going with some of those more classic and old school practices or methods. And there's one thing I know, and I'm glad you brought it up, talking about the farmers that you work with, that I know farming and all of that is very important to you, as it should be to anyone dealing with an agricultural product.
Yeah, very much so.
A lot of people lose sight of what's here, how important that is.
It's obviously very important. I'm not the only winemaker to think so, but
No.
For someone who gets to make wine but also loves to cook and work with produce from amazing farms, it's all it's wine is as much nature as it is human as it is anything else. So to try and incorporate all those things and to really understand and always be learning more and more how the adage goes, the best wines are made in the vineyard, and how important all that is. And it's just it can't be overstated, and how amazing it is to work with these little plots of land in the gorge that are all either organically farmed or naturally sprayed by people that have been working that land for, depending on the vineyard, up to 25 years, and really know how to work their little plot of land and have that deep connection. And then just to basically be able to tie in that feels so lucky.
That's so cool.
And they're amazing people. The best days of the year are the days you get to go pick up those grapes from them and see the smiles on their face at the end of their long harvest, and then share in the bounty and the deliciousness, and then take it from there and try to do as much justice to those grapes as you possibly can. And we're doing an okay job, but we're always trying to get better at it as well.
It's a moving target, and they got one shot a year. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've had some challenging years recently.
We've had some extreme years. But it's honestly I'm not pro global warming, but it has made it really exciting and an incredible thing to celebrate the vintage variations that we've been having. We're not trying to make wines taste the exact same. We want them to have a through line for sure. That is the Italian style. But to learn how to work with these grapes from all over the gorge, where warmer vintages actually sometimes do better in the cooler areas. Cooler vintages sometimes do better in the warmer areas, and this kind of always be thinking about how to make the best wine from that vintage. It's the fun of it all.
The fun of it all.
Yeah.
How you feeling about vintage or 24?
24 is amazing. I was just tasting 2 days ago in the winery, and it is super well balanced, very aromatic, very fresh. There's a lot of power to it. It's not overly big. So I think given a year or two for those wines just to really show how amazing of a harvest it was and how long they got to hang, it's going to be one of the best vintages I've ever worked with in Oregon.
That's awesome.
Washington.
That's awesome. I mean, and I'm hearing that, from the Willamette and kind of all the way through and across varietals. It's okay, we finally got one. It's not frozen smoke, this, that, all the different things.
The smoke ones are obviously a big challenge, but I truly do love the vintage variation and
it's special.
Figuring out how to make the wines within that, and then you don't always nail it. I've only been making wine for 14 years, which is seems like a long time, but that's like you said, you get one shot a year. It's like making bread 14 times. You're not going to be necessarily an expert at it. You got to think about it for a very long time and analyze everything and constantly be working.
It's like when you see bakeries up on the hills or bakeries over on the coast. It's man, I don't even know how you guys handle this elevation and humidity and all that. I'm
you're taking educated guesses and using your own sensibilities.
Sure.
Whether that's from winemaking or just from life.
Sure.
Tying it all together, and that's what's so fun about it.
Well, and it's great that you have that culinary influence and on a broad spectrum that kind of brings it all together. and it's really awesome. You know, I know you do the lunches and the things that you've done out at the winery, which is great. But launching this little thing is so cool, and just seeing, like, because you know your wines and you know what you're gonna bring in and what's gonna make, and you know those tarts that you were making, all those things. You know, it's just like, it's really cool to see that, because your passion is clear and your attention to it, but also your honor for it, and just sharing and making a space. I'm like, literally, apartamento, like, come hang out and feel home. And I would say your sensibilities, man, I mean, it really shows. I mean, through the wines I've had with you, from you throughout the years, and even now, it's really special. I think what you're doing, and as I said, seeing it grow and seeing people talk about it, and not just through social media, but other things, it's just been great that other people, they get that too. So that's really awesome, man.
Thank you.
I'm happy. I'm stoked for you.
Yeah, from the very beginning, I thought of Buona Notte as being a food and wine company.
Sure.
And we didn't really have an outlet to celebrate the food aspect of it as well as we wanted. But, you know, given the last few years and just like the development of the brand, like, it was really something I was chasing, of trying to find the right spot for. And this just kind of popped up. It's tiny, but that's kind of fun because I can cook for everyone.
Yeah.
And pour wine and just like make this a holistic experience that I've always wanted to do. And love cooking for people. These wines go well with food. And that's something that we very much try and think about in the winemaking process. Higher acid, skin contact, and just not overly big and going to overpower any foods.
Sure.
So it's worked out really well. It's been super fun. We've been open about 4 months. We're still, you know, exactly finding our stride, but we're pretty close.
Hey, you got windows.
Yeah, we finally got some windows. We got a little wine window.
There you go. Howdy,
Say
neighbor.
hello. And we are very happy to be up here and work on seasonal food that goes well with the wines that are currently out, and just hang out and do exactly this.
Well, and it's cool, and you know, you and I have had kind of a different relationship and friendship throughout the years too, because we have in our own lives respectively this family importance and this closeness to our parents, and you know, losing a parent and all those things, you know, and that's one thing I've always thought special, and like seeing those photos of you and your mom in here and getting all this stuff going and hearing the stories about the cooking schools, and you know, just having that it's infectious, just that kind of love and that feel and that warmth, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way we grew up, is eating and hanging out. And I was swirling wine in my mom's cooking schools when I was 9. I didn't like it, of course. It smelled like grape juice, but so it was in there somewhere. And it's fun to incorporate the family. And just brought my mom on a sales trip to South Carolina, which was really fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting. She came with me to all these sales meetings and restaurants and wine shops and chimed in. So that's been
take your mom
a nice
to work
way
day.
to connect. Take my mom to work day. That's what I was saying the whole time. And then I started this with my dad, whose photo is right there. Unfortunately, he did pass away a year and a half ago, but he was very instrumental to the business aspect of it all and getting me started, and just being the most supportive human that could possibly be, and teaching me so much about not just business, but how to be a good person within it. And so it's a good way to honor him, to keep going, keep doing exactly how you want to do it. And you know, that's one thing we found out as well, is like, just do what you want to do, and people will find you.
They'll respond.
The same thing.
Put that energy out there, and it will attract that. And it's very clear. I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
I guess it's not so clear.
One of the things too about what you've done and what you've built and continuing, and this side of it is, you know, in a post-pandemic world, this town, this city, just like anywhere else, what that needed to look like, and as we're still trying to figure out what that is, which really has opened up to a lot of kind of out of the box thinking, you know, and like, well, we don't have to do it the old way. There are, you know, let's try these things, and there's some new opportunities and things. And it's just, and I think you doing this is like hit at a perfect time, and it's a showcase for you. And I mean, I know you still do the dinners, and you know, you're still driving between here and the winery those when you have to, and back and forth. And
I'm used to it by now.
you know, and now having this and having a home base instead of just getting behind a table at all the wine events and things, which is important, but
yeah, those wine events are fun. Some, not to like knock anyone in particular, I just don't really relate to like normal wine tastings where you show up and there's someone who has no relation to the winemaking is pouring you like numbered wines, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to create an experience that I would actually enjoy and
that's key.
Build community post COVID, post everything, like have a spot where the wine club members can come hang. It's like their clubhouse if they want. And, you know, just enjoy food and wine as it's meant to be, and not just like at home chugging bottles of wine. As we all did in COVID. I'm guilty as well. But yeah, it's nice, and it's its own small experience. But when we have people in here, we're always having a good time. People are meeting each other, making recommendations on food, wine, movies, books, all that kind of stuff.
There you go.
And it's just all the things we missed during COVID, and it's been a real pleasure being behind this little bar, making little snacks and pouring wine.
What are some of your favorite snacks that you are currently making or have made? Has there been some stars for you that you're like, man, I really like that? Or
okay. So one of the first ones we made, which was super fun, is artichokes with just a little bit of cold artichokes with a little bit of coupe mayonnaise and lemon and olive oil. Turns out a lot of you guys don't know exactly how to eat artichoke. We're here to teach you and enjoy that. It's an interesting wine pairing, but like this Gruner goes really well with it. That was one of the first ones. We do a little pizzetta that kind of changes seasonally in our little toaster oven. That's what we have here. And that's been fun with fresh mozzarella, tomato, basil, fresh herbs. We've started making a little bit of beef tartare in here recently.
Nice.
Which,
look at you.
So I was in Milan 2 years ago, and they just ground some meat in a meat grinder, put a really fresh kind of like vinaigrette on there, with a lot of shallots and herbs, and that was it. And I
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is no one else? It's so good. And so we just started doing that.
So simple and so
simple,
beautiful.
easy, fairly approachable. And then the other one that's been on for a while is the peppers, tuna and toast, or not toast, potatoes. And it's just really simple. A little bit of aioli, rushed red peppers, potatoes, not toast, and then the tuna on top with herbs. And that's just like super scrumptious, easy, nice, and like refreshing, good dish that people have responded well to. So we keep it on there.
And it's great, you know, tasting room or wine bar food. I mean, it's just, you know, those guys over there knew what they were doing long ago in any of those countries of just having those little snacks and those little small plates, you know, and there's the slicer.
And we got the slicer for the meats. I guess that's kind of a big thing is what we do. You know, people still think of this as a wine tasting experience, which is what it is, but we try and go above and beyond, but it's still nice to have a really creative meat and cheese board for people, and we have access to cowbell cheese 2 blocks away, so
amazing.
Always trying to change the cheeses up and learn for myself so I can pass that on to people about new exciting cheeses, and then the meats, and just enjoy ourselves.
That's rad. That's cool. What's something that no one really knows about you that you want to tell people?
That's not already on the internet.
It's not already on the internet. I don't know.
Let's see. I guess I'm not really all that complicated. I mean, the fun thing that people do kind of know that everyone gets a big kick out of is that I went to the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics for writing and literature.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a that's a biggie.
That's on the website, so I don't think that's too hard. But that really, like, I love this. I love being here. I love cooking for people. I love pouring wines. So you can come in and you don't have to just drink Buona Notte wines. We have a captain's list of all these fun wines.
Oh,
you know, it's small.
I did not know that.
But it's really fun. They're not too expensive. They're like just a little bit above like a wine shop price for some great wines. And you can come in and eat the food and drink those wines along with some Buona Notte wines or however you want to do it. But just like, this is open to a lot of different experiences.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just a wine tasting.
It's
like
this thing. Yeah. Go through this list.
Yeah.
Give me your money. Move
Yeah.
on.
We're going to start doing maybe like an art night once a month, maybe
Sure.
more, where you just come in, we'll have all the art supplies, you drink wine, hang out.
Sure.
Just like keep pushing.
You've already
these-
started, right? With your
Someone
with your-
donated that nicely, whether they know they donated it or not. Yeah, just to like see what the future holds is going to be really exciting for me and for anyone who's paying attention.
Stoked for sure.
Because this is just like a building, as you touched on earlier, that is very supportive of such things and
It is.
growth. And you've probably seen people walking back and forth in the background here, and those are all just like the amazing people doing amazing things in this building. You have Ton Charcoal right next to us, who are just making all these products around like the what are the name of those grills? Like almost hibachi-ish kind of Thai charcoal grills. They're incredible.
I mean, and just being a sustainable, a reuse, repurpose, sustainable charcoal company, and just the whole idea behind it, and then to bring the grill aspect in. I know for
I'm
me,
learning things now. That sounds
yeah,
great.
exactly. It's like when I go downstairs through the warehouse to go
Yeah.
get the magazines and everything, and I see all the different products and things that are housed in this building. It's amazing to me. People would be like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, this is a very important building to Portland and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
What's sitting down there? It's insane when you walk through there, and it's inspiring to see that. And as
Yeah.
you said, these guys are just doing a great job. We almost put our office here when this was just over here and didn't have this wonderful, beautiful thing. I like this better. I'm glad it landed with you. But because of that, with this building, and when Luke popping in just down the hallway, but everyone you meet and talk to, and seeing this building, having heard the plans in the future and the ideas of what was going on, of down on the corner on Second, and what may happen up on the rooftop here, and it's like I'm watching all these things starting to happen. It's just really, really cool, and it's neat. I'm gonna go for it. It's neat.
It is neat. And so the owners, Dustin and Emma Evans, are just very supportive, sweet, amazing humans, and they're kind of like the engine that creates it all, fuels a lot of it.
Night Market and Snack Fest are
Yeah.
okay. They kind of know what they're.
Yeah.
They kind of know what's going on.
Another event that is just supportive of everyone involved. So.
And that's the community.
Yeah.
We say that word a lot. We write that word a lot. You see that a lot with us, and it's just true. And it's something, for me, moving back to Portland last March was fantastic, and that was part of it. Is I was missing a lot of that. It's just a community. It was one thing, knowing all you guys, and if you, I did, as Scott Frank says, it was a ruse. We were trying to get you to come back up here so we can all hang out on a regular basis instead of having to drive all the way over the coast to see you. I'm like, well, there's a beach. There's a beach there, but
Now they can see you on YouTube as well.
And now they can see me on YouTube as well and see you. Do you want to talk any details about the winery or club? Do you want to do a little self-promotion of any sort, or you just want to say, hey, get your butts down here to 109
Honestly,
Southeast Salmon and
I can
hang
tell you
out?
all about the wine club, but I do feel like if you just come here, have a glass of wine, have a tasting, have a snack, then you can decide for yourself. But the curiosity about it all should be the driving aspect of it all. We do have a great wine club, but
Couldn't agree
just
more.
come enjoy this. And
Yeah.
that's just the
Do
gateway
come and
drug.
enjoy it.
The first step, however you want to put it.
Hours, days, Wednesday, Saturday,
Yeah.
something like that.
Thursday
Thursday.
through Saturday,
Okay.
3 to 8. We're going to add some hours here, probably springtime, but
Sure.
for now, Thursday through Saturday, 3 to 8. You can make reservations online through the website.
Yeah.
You can walk in if you're in the neighborhood. Just come say hello.
Yeah.
Come hang out.
Very cool.
You may see John here.
It may be.
You might not move.
I may not move. I may be
Yeah.
sitting right here. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything you do, and just appreciate you taking some time out of your day. I know you're getting ready for the weekend, and doors open here.
Getting ready to have some people in with
For
some
real.
delicious wine and snacks.
Yeah, can make it happen. Thank you guys. We're going to keep these podcasts and these videos and things rolling out on the YouTube channel. We'll have some audio coming up on some of the other platforms here soon. In all honesty and transparency, we're doing a little bit of a website migration, so we'll have a new website coming out, but it'll still be edibleportland.com. The old one's still going. And as of right now, today, that winter issue will be out in just a couple of days. We got to go see that getting printed yesterday, which was pretty rad. And we moved printing to Portland, so we're really bringing everything in back to community and spending the money locally. And come see Graham, come hang out. Wines are great. The story, the feeling, the warmth, the food is great. It's creative, it's true, it's real, it's honest, and you have a rad time. So thanks, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
We'll pour it
We'll get
anyways.
there.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, and thanks, Dean, for getting behind the camera again and making the magic happen. We'll see you guys soon. Peas and water, y'all. Peas and water. Without them, we don't have anything. And we're not doing much to take care of them. So maybe we should. I'm like, man, you don't get that, do you?